Hi, this is Gautam. For today's episode, we're going to look at this book, A Forgotten Empire. It's regarding Vijayanagar and is written by the author Robert Sewell. Now, before we get into the content of the text, let's try to understand that this book was not published in this century but was in the year 1900. Let's see what's special about this. The medieval history of Peninsular India can be defined as a struggle between two empires, the Vijayanagar and the Bahmani kingdom. The Vijayanagar Empire was established in the mid 14th century and it went on to reach its zenith in the mid 16th century until it was defeated by the Bahmani kingdom in the year 1565. Now, the struggle between the two empires centered around the capture of the region of Raichur, located between the two rivers of Krishna and Tungabhadra in peninsular India. During the zenith of Vijayanagar Empire's time period, two Portuguese travelers made it and they made important records of the Vijayanagar Empire. The two were Domingo Paez and Fernando Nunes. The records of these two travelers are part of this book. So, technically, the book has three parts, where in the first part, author Robert Sewell has written the history based on the writings of these two travelers. The second and the third part are the original translations of the travelers themselves. Now, having described the three-part division of the book, talking about the first one is the author's description based on the travelogues of the Portuguese authors, and you can clearly see that the author has painstakingly given footnotes for several terminologies. Because in fact, you take the word Vijayanagar, Vijayanagar is actually written as Vijayanagar. Apart from that, when we read the political history, we understand that there was no time for peace. Like every 5 or 6 years, you see armies constantly marching north to capture the rise of Doab from Vijayanagar or the Bahmani kingdom marching south. Now, coming to the style of writing, when if you take this particular book, apart from political history, there is a detailed discussion on the economic and cultural ones too. But you need to understand that the writing is in 1900, which means there is no flair which is associated with the modern reader. So it is technically a proper documented historical text, and at times when you read, there are chances that you might be overwhelmed with information, as in which king succeeded which one and which year a particular war happened or an attack happened. At the same time, certain discussions you might feel it comes down to bare facts and numericals. And if you look at the second and third part of the book, that is the writings of Nunes, the explorer 1520 to 1525. At the same time, the writing of Domingo Paez, who preceded him. So if you take both the travelogues again, those were translations from Portuguese to English. So as documents of historical importance, they are definitely worth it. But again, the problem is with reference to the writing style and on its communication and its relevance to the modern reader. So the only thing which you'll have to remember when you read this text is that the writing will not be comfortable to you, and you'll really need to struggle hard to make sure that you reach or move through the pages. Apart from that, as a historical account, this is a tremendous achievement. I just like to read a passage from page number 2. And yet, in the present day, the very existence of this kingdom is hardly remembered in India, while its once magnificent capital, planted on the extremes northern border of its dominions and bearing the proud title of the city of victory, has entirely disappeared, save for a few scattered ruins of buildings that were once temples or palaces, and for the long lines of massive walls that constituted its defenses. Even the name has died out of men's minds and memories, and the remains that mark its site are known only as the ruins lying near the little village of Hampi. I principally chose this book because the modern works on Vijayanagar may not really do justice to the ones, or there are not many books available in the markets. So even though the book was published earlier and the writing may not be comfortable to the modern reader, I definitely recommend that you get this, because this is an integral part of the state of Karnataka. That's it for today's review. Meet you the next one pretty soon. Bye for now.